By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well. Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. Not most, not all, but some people spent some time resenting her for it. One of the top leading scorers after the Olympic Games, she put on a show validating all the attention she was receiving.
WNBA attendance is up 93% from last year, so why are playoff tickets dropping to as low as $10? Something doesn't add up, and it's got players thinking about going on strike. Let's break down this crazy situation. You know what's wild? The league is booming, but ticket prices are crashing. It's like having a packed restaurant, but giving away meals for free. This makes no sense, right? The players are scratching their heads too. They're seeing full arenas, but empty wallets. No wonder they're getting frustrated.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever had over 1.8 million viewers. This is now on an NFL Sunday. They had over 1.8 million viewers, and the rest of the games had around 400,000 viewers. These people are coming in waves to watch one player who has sold out every single arena that she has played in this season. I have not seen the viewership reports for the games last night yet, but I'm sure that it is probably double of what the Indiana Fever game got on Sunday.
Here's the deal. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this is happening. We're talking about the future of women's basketball here. Will the players actually go on strike? What does this mean for fans like you and me? Stick around because we're about to unpack this whole mess and see what's really going on behind the scenes of the WNBA. Now let's talk ticket prices. Remember when Caitlin Clark's games were selling out for thousands? Fast forward to the playoffs and suddenly you can grab a seat for less than a movie ticket. What's causing this roller coaster ride in WNBA ticket prices?
200,000 more people came to watch the Indiana Fever than any other team in the league. The second best was 400,000. The Fever attendance is 200,000 more people this season than any other organization. The Liberty is next at 400,000. These are numbers when people talked about at the beginning of the season, the high tide lifts all boats or whatever, basically. Like, if you buy into this, everybody is going to eat.
It's like the WNBA is living in two different worlds. During the regular season, fans were shelling out serious cash to see their favorite stars. We're talking about seats going for over $4,000 to watch Caitlin Clark work her magic on the court. That's not just expensive, that's, I could buy a used car, expensive.
It sucks that so much of it was riddled with so much drama and so much negativity and so many mishaps that the WNBA had throughout the entire season. A lot of the Indiana Fever fans or Caitlin Clark fans that you speak of are no longer going to watch the WNBA now that the Indiana Fever are out. It feels like there are still certain people within the WNBA who want the league to grow, but they don't want it to grow if it's certain people at the face.
But here's where things get weird. The playoffs roll around and suddenly ticket prices are in free fall. We're seeing some arenas practically giving away seats for $10. $10. You can't even get popcorn and a drink for that price at most venues. So what's going on? How did we go from I need a loan to see this game to it's cheaper than Netflix in just a few months? Let's break it down with some numbers. Games featuring Caitlin Clark saw ticket prices shoot up by 241% compared to games without her. That's insane. Fans were clearly willing to pay big bucks to see the rookie sensation in action. But then we look at a team like the Minnesota Lynx. They're in the playoffs, which should be exciting, right? Well, they're struggling to fill even half their arena. We're talking about less than 9,000 tickets sold in a place that can hold 20,000 people. And get this, their average ticket price is $250, one of the highest in the league. It's like the WNBA can't decide if it wants to be exclusive or accessible. On one hand, you've got these sky-high prices for regular season games with star players. On the other, you've got playoff games that are cheaper than a trip to the movies. This isn't just about fans getting a good deal or not. It's a symptom of something bigger going on with the WNBA's money situation. When you see ticket prices all over the place like this, it usually means there's trouble brewing behind the scenes. Think about it. If the league was really thriving, wouldn't playoff tickets be the hottest thing in town? Instead, we're seeing them practically being given No way. It's like throwing a party and having to beg people to come, even though everyone said they loved you earlier in the year. The players are noticing this too, and they're not happy about it. They're seeing packed arenas during the regular season, but empty seats when it really counts. And you know what empty seats mean? Less money coming in. You know what's crazy? While we're seeing these wild swings in ticket prices, the players are stuck in a whole different kind of financial roller coaster. And it's not the fun kind. We're talking about a situation where some WNBA stars are making less than your average teacher. Yeah, you heard that right. The league's top talent, the ones filling seats and making highlight reels, are barely scraping by compared to their NBA counterparts. Let's break it down. WNBA players' salaries range from about $64,000 to $252,000. Now, $252,000 might sound like a lot, but when you compare it to the NBA, it's pocket change. NBA players are raking in millions. We're talking about a difference that's not just big, it's astronomical. And here's where it gets even crazier. Only about 10% of the WNBA's revenue goes to player salaries. 10%. Meanwhile, over in the NBA, players are getting a 50-50 split. It's like the WNBA players are getting the leftovers after everyone else has eaten. No wonder these athletes are fed up. They're seeing packed arenas, they're making ESPN highlights, but their bank accounts don't match up. It's like being the star of the show, but only getting paid as an extra. So what are they thinking of doing? Well, there's talk of opting out of their current agreement after the 2025 season. That's when things could get really interesting. We might see some serious negotiations going down. Players want a bigger slice of the pie, and they're ready to fight for it. But here's where it gets tricky. If the players push too hard for higher salaries and the league can't afford it, we could be looking at a strike or a lockout. And that's not just bad news for the players, it's bad for the whole league. Imagine this, the WNBA finale starts gaining some serious mainstream appeal, and then bam, a player strike hits. All those casual fans who were just starting to get into women's basketball, they might bounce and never come back. It's like inviting people to a party and then canceling at the last minute. Good luck getting them to show up next time. Some players are even talking about ditching the WNBA altogether and playing overseas where they can make more money. It's like the league is at risk of losing its biggest stars right when it needs them the most. Now get this, as players contemplate jumping ship, the fans are in a whole different kind of pickle. Picture this, you're psyched to see your favorite WNBA star play, but when you check the ticket prices, your jaw hits the floor. How can fans show love for the league when they're getting priced out of the arena? It's like the WNBA is caught in a bizarre tug of war between growth and loyalty. On one side, you've got longtime fans who've been riding the WNBA wave since day one. These are the diehards who've stuck with their teams through thick and thin, but now they're feeling the squeeze as ticket prices shoot up faster than a three-pointer. Take Catherine Arnold, for example. She's a season ticket holder who's seen her $65 tickets suddenly skyrocket to between $450 and $750. That's not just a price hike, that's a price explosion. It's enough to make even the most dedicated fan think twice about renewing their season pass. But here's where it gets really tricky. While some fans are getting priced out, others are snagging playoff tickets for as low as $10. It's like the WNBA's ticket prices are on a roller coaster and nobody knows if they're getting the thrill ride or the budget seats. So what's causing this crazy price yo-yo? It's all about demand, baby. The WNBA is blowing up and that's awesome. More fans, more attention, more everything. But with that growth comes growing pains. The league is trying to figure out how to balance making money, which they need to pay players more, with keeping games accessible to their loyal fan base. And it's not just about the money. The WNBA has always been more than just basketball. It's got this unique vibe, you know? It's diverse, it's inclusive, and it's not afraid to speak up on social issues. But as the league gets bigger and more mainstream, some fans are worried about losing that special sauce. Emma, a Chicago Sky season ticket holder, put it perfectly. She's stoked about the league's growth, but stressed about keeping its identity. It's like wanting your favorite indie band to hit it big, but also hoping they don't change their sound to please the masses. So here's the million-dollar question. How does the WNBA keep growing without leaving its day one fans in the dust? It's like trying to upgrade your house without kicking out your roommates. You want more space, but you don't want to lose the people who made the place feel like home in the first place. The league's gotta pull off some serious magic here. They need to find a way to keep ticket prices reasonable for loyal fans, while also making enough money to pay players what they deserve. It's like trying to bake a cake that's both sugar-free and super sweet. Possible? Maybe. Easy? Heck no. Alright, let's wrap this up. We've seen ticket prices go from sky high to rock bottom. Players getting fed up with their paychecks, and fans caught in the middle of it all. The WNBA is in a tight spot trying to grow but not leave anyone behind. Here's the thing, the future of women's basketball is hanging in the balance. The league needs to figure out how to pay players what they're worth without making games so expensive that fans can't afford to show up. It's like trying to stretch a dollar bill to cover a whole basketball court. Economic experts are saying the WNBA might need to follow the NBA's lead and share more revenue with players. But that's easier said than done. The league's gotta find a way to keep growing without losing what makes it special. It's a tough game off the court, but if they play it right, the WNBA could be headed for a whole new level.